Hello, everybody. I'm Conquering History Games, and welcome back to part 29 of my United States of America campaign here in Hearts of Iron 4, The New Order. Gosh, I've been recording. I recorded the last episode today, but I just went on this freaking unbelievably frustrating odyssey. So, let's do something less frustrating and try to, do domestic reform while also trying to land on Mars. Without having majority government. That's not stressful, right? The nighttime meeting was an unusually late one for the president. The hushed tones in which it was organized by the chief of staff personally doubtlessly left many an intern and West Wing staffer wondering what was going on. The president, on the other hand, wished he was one of them. John Glenn was all too aware of why the agent from the Government Accountability Office sat across the Resolute desk, with their suitcase and hat neatly resting on crossed legs in a pinstripe suit. The dead-eyed, almost uninterested stare of the pale man who had only introduced himself as Agent Anderson of the GAO, GAO being the Government Accountability Office, rested on the president's face as Glenn struggled not to squirm in his chair. I was surprised to learn of your request for a meeting at this hour, Glenn said as neutral a tone as he could manage. Why not just have Elmer drop by tomorrow? The agent's fingers drummed lightly on his suitcase. Mr. Stats was worried about the speculations an unscheduled visit by the Comptroller General to the White House could fuel in Congress. Rest assured that the CG has nothing but the best interests of the President and the nation at heart. Yet, the agent's eyes fixed on Glenn's, and all of a sudden the President felt like a deer staring at a wolf. Sometimes, Mr. President, because the Andersons was like, Mr. Anderson, we're going to do this voice for him now. Sometimes, Mr. President, those things may not overlap as thoroughly as they should. Which brings me to the purpose of my presence here. Last year, the Comptroller General's office received a concerned phone call from the Pentagon. It would appear that Air Force's annual budget does not seem to totally align with the budget Congress passed this year. There may have been misappropriations in the direction of the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. About $840 million to be exact. I spoke with Undersecretary McLucas, the one who last reviewed the budget, and he showed that he had noted the irregularity at the time and logged it with the West Wing. This makes it seem as if the peculiarity stems from someone inside the White House. Mr. Stats figured you might have an idea, Mr. President. Do you have something to say on this matter? Glenn swallowed. Oh, Glenn, you diverted almost $1 billion to NASA? What I want to know is why didn't it pop up in my decision tab? This is a problem. Gosh, we're just paddling for air at 9% approval rating right now. I am as shocked as you are. This is an outrage, or I'm sorry, it was for the good of the future. We're not going to confess. Oh my god, I'm going to get fucking impeached, aren't I? I don't want Glenn to be impeached. I don't want to update the thumbnail anymore. The joke's over. Glenn forever. I'm going to say I'm as shocked as you are. This is an outrage. And, oh boy. Something tells me I better spend the political power now while I still got it. Talk with the Democrats. Yeah, okay, we got 78 days until the vote's going to happen. Well, really less, I think, because it's... We got 35, and we can't do ending the right to work if we're still working on a different bill. Because this is a new bill. Mercury. Comptroller General Elmer Boyd Stats finished flipping through Agent Anderson's report. Something felt really disturbing, and he decided to reread it tonight with a notebook and a pen at hand. Elmer, thank you, Mr. Anderson. It isn't many at GAO who have faced down the big man himself without flinching. I was worried I'd have to head over to Penn Avenue myself to try to haul some info out of Gwen. A shame he wouldn't give up whoever's been messing with the budget. I've noticed you also tried to prod the cabbies. Any luck? He's hunting presidents. Anyway, that's probably a bad Elmer impression I'm doing. The nondescript agent in the pinstripe suit nodded, his thoughts seemingly elsewhere. Yes, sir. A full list is on page 13 of my report. All the military undersecretaries plus the SecNav denied any knowledge of this. while the Secretary of the Army fingered the Secretary of the Air Force. But sexual irregularities aside... Sorry, I was trying to make a joke there about, the fingering. Anyway, claimed to have only heard humors, though could it... The agent's voice trailed off, and for the first time, the normally implacable expression of Agent Anderson shifted into a furrowed brow and a hesitant tone. Stats immediately realized what the agent was considering. Absolutely not, Anderson. John is a national hero and has many years of political experience. He would never consider fiddling with the budgets. I know him. He's a good man. Focus your investigation on the secretaries. Of course, sir. Oh, I lost political power. I wasn't even in the room. Come on. I wasn't even in the room where it happened. The room where it happened. The truth! Okay, what happened? Piles of folders, transcripts, and other documents covered countless desks within the Department of Justice as investigators worked through the night to sift through the contents. The evidence in question had been collected from offices of former Thurman... Oh, this isn't the United States. This isn't Glenn. This is the Thurman thing. I almost forgot about that. The work's hard, but they have an ample budget, so they could burn the midnight oil. Started with a hunch... A receipt for a 2-night stay in a hotel in downtown D.C. in the immediate aftermath of Robert Kennedy's shooting. Two things stood out about it. Firstly, though the room was documented in Thurman's expenses as being paid for by him, it was booked in the name of one of his aides who resigned shortly after he came to power. Secondly, the hotel was only 2 blocks from the Speaker's D.C. residence at the time. Oh, that's how I thought Thurman had just been following the Speaker anyway, and maybe he was, but he had one of his aides bang the Speaker in the hotel. That's how you do it. Okay, so the aide in question was soon tracked down and interviewed. He was nervous. He was afraid of recrimination. He confessed his former employer had commanded him to meet with the Speaker and prevent him with some unfortunate information to encourage him to consider his options. But we didn't do a phone call. I guess he's doing like a false confession, just like, oh yeah, I was the one who told him that we were going to bribe him, instead of saying like, yeah, I banged the Speaker to get evidence that he's gay. It was clear as day. Strom Thurmond had threatened the Speaker of the House into refusing the presidency, allowing him into the highest office in the land. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Oh my. I don't know, freaking do Italy or something. With all the cryptology stuff. Strom Thurmond's going to jail. He's going to jail. Hopefully I'm not going to share a cell with him. I hope he's going to go to jail. Venus. Okay. I don't like that. We had Mercury. I thought, it's like the Mercury missions. But now it's Venus. Are we going to have all the planets? Is Pluto considered one right now? The young lady was remarkably beautiful, President Glenn thought, and for a moment he feared the whole thing was a trap. Instinctively, he stepped behind a pillar to hide himself from the sight of the woman on the floor below, as if meeting his chief of staff at the bottom of the grand staircase was an obvious enough of a sign of who this meeting was clearly benefiting. Beating a silent retreat to the residence, Glenn found himself apprehensive and fearful as the product of the meeting was brought to him minutes later. It was lucky that the Comptroller General had a fondness for demanding copies to be made of all GAO reports, and even luckier that Rosalind Voynich, the secretary usually copying said report, had formerly worked for the Secretary of State as his personal secretary, remaining close family friends. Maybe too lucky. Glenn read the report with great skepticism, yet a rising feeling of dread. That shark Anderson was clearly smelling blood in the water. He had chatted with no fewer than 7 undersecretaries and 3 of the military secretaries only in the hours he had waited for their meeting. If the report could be trusted, it would be a matter of days before Stat's hunting dogs would be loosed on the White House. The question would only be whose throat they would rip out. Glenn picked up the phone from the tea table by his chair. He decided to call, get me Roger Stone, get the fixer here Stat, or I could say, Roger, it's John, I have to make a confession. No, never confess. Double down, and then double down again. Now, is that, I just realized, is that, the Roger Stone that, got convicted last year? Of course, he got pardoned a few days ago, as of the time of this recording. Probably is. Yeah, it's the 70s. He was around. No. Wait. How old would he have been? He would have been, in his 20s. Yeah, maybe it's not the same Roger Stone. So anyway, Chief of Staff, I need to meet him here pronto for a crisis meeting. What are we gonna do? Ah! What is that? Sorry. It's a freaking apartment. Let me shut this off. Okay, so do we go with Roger Stone? I feel like this is bait. This is bait to get me impeached. The Chief of Staff, I need him up here pronto for a crisis meeting. Yeah, let's, which is not going to end things. We're probably going to get another event. But probably either way, we're going to have another event. Crisis meeting! Crisis meeting! Oh, it's a crisis. Okay, 11 days we're going to be able to launch Orion 3, and then we're not going to have problems anymore. We'll be in space. It'll be beautiful. 57 research points right now. Probe the Avery. Tell us. Stats and Anderson were waiting on the Secretary of Defense by his car when he emerged from a nearby path through the brush. Stats noted with interest that the Secretary of Defense's companion, the Secretary of the Air Force, seemed nervous. He smiled gently. I hope we're not... No, wait, no, this is Stats. This is Elmer, right? Yeah. I hope we are not interrupting some important Pentagon business. The SecDef looked slightly perturbed at the Comptroller General waiting for him, but quickly broke into a jovial smile that was almost convincing. Elmer, of course, thought I assume Susan sent you up here? Yes, indeed. We were actually looking for Secretary Siemens, but the nervous-looking Sec Air straightened his back so quickly he almost lost his thick-rimmed glasses. Me? Haven't I already given you my statement through my office? We just have some additional questions. Your office told us you'd gone to the SecDef, and his lovely secretary told us the two of you were having a walk here in the hills. Nice car she has, by the way. Is it new? Oh my god, they bribed her with a fucking car. Very, very nice car, I'd say, Anderson added. Probably quite expensive. The two cabinet secretaries paled, then the SecDef reddened with annoyance or shame. Are you implying something? Just asking questions, sir. Oh my god, this is so bad. We're in so much freaking trouble. Good RD campaign. Oh my god, did Glenn get impeached? I've heard nothing of this. Then again, I don't know much about Glenn. I just hear it's like people are like, oh, go Glenn, go. I just hear people Mars. Call Elmer. Let me think here. Let's say we're only going to Neptune. Let's pretend Pluto's not a planet for a second in this timeline. I know it's not a planet now. It hasn't been for years. Some of you guys are probably too young to remember when it was a planet. But Mercury, Venus, Mars. So we skipped Earth. Hallelujah. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. If we spend 50 political power each time, well, it's kind of too late. So let's just count Mars. Okay, so Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. We've got, potentially including this one, 5 events coming. We got 250 more political power we might end up spending. That's not even counting these smaller events. Shit. The gardens at the center of the Pentagon were an oddly calm oasis in the center of the never-ending bustle of the world's second largest military machine. At this morning hour, the Secretary of Defense and his worried expression was the only reminder of the significance of the location. President Glenn felt an odd calm despite the situation he was in. Are you sure Siemens is buckling? The Secretary nodded intently. Definitely. He's the science type. You know that. He'd crack almost instantly if hauled before Congress. We have to act now to deflect the blame. The CG knows about the payments we made to Susan for making those documents go away. You were shielded still. It was Secretary McLucas who arranged it, and he doesn't know about your involvement. If we pin it on him... The Secretary fell silent, and the President stared mindlessly into the gardens for a few moments. Could he really throw a member of his administration under the bus? We're not going to confess. We can protect our own, pay some staffer to take the fall. Some staffer? Some staffer? You think some staffer is going to go to federal fucking prison over this? No. At least McLucas, maybe we can pardon him later or something. I was just talking about Roger Stone. But McLucas doesn't even know. You know, maybe we can pen it on him, and then because he doesn't know, because he's ignorant of it, it's going to end up being a dead end, and then they're going to just, say it's like just some bureaucratic snafu, right? Somebody well, not put a comma in the wrong place, but puts something in the wrong budget line or whatever. We'll give him the Billy Martin at the airport. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to know why he wins those millions. That's right. This is an Ocean's movie now. Oh, Glenn. What the hell? Glenn! Can't believe you did this without my permission. Did I do this when I did siphoning funding? But I haven't taken any decisions, have I? Okay, wait. Investigation concludes. This is Thurman stuff. After months of investigation into former President Thurman's activities, the Attorney General today announced that the Department of Justice had concluded all its inquiries and was prepared to press charges against Thurman. The evidence against Thurman is certainly damning. The Attorney General revealed that Thurman had made statements under oath that were provably false. Attorney General confirmed some evidence had been found concerning the alleged blackmailing. The entire nation watched with bated breath. Thurman's trial scheduled to take place over the coming weeks. It remains to be seen if the bulk of the charges against him will hold. Demonstrations both for and against the former president have broken out across the nation, and the results of the trial will likely have a major impact on the damaged American psyche. As proceedings begin to take place, all anyone can do now is wait. Soon the moment of truth. Is there going to be something where, like, I get to pardon Glenn? Or not Glenn, I get to freaking... watch, there's going to be something where, like, I get to pardon... Thurman because I'm like setting a precedent to save my own ass later or something. I'm naked in the dark out here, guys. I don't like this. The Undersecretary of the United States Air Force, John McLucas, was a surprisingly quiet and professional man despite his seemingly political position. He had worked on military matters most of his life, having little taste for the scheming of the higher cabinet positions, yet even he had sensed something being off the last few weeks. His boss, Robert Siemens, normally a quiet academic type, had gotten increasingly nervous and forgetful, and left notes asking him to go on curious errands to various parts with suitcases and sealed notes exchanging hands. And now the president, a distant character he rarely interacted directly with, sent him a personal letter requesting a number of documents with numerical codes that he could not remember for the life of him. Yet all appeared to be in his office's filing cabinets. As he signed off on the last of them, he resolved to investigate this himself in the near future. Curiouser and curiouser. Oh, we are bleeding political power. This is so freaking bad. Let's buy some blueprints. And should we just launch the Orion 3? Yeah, we're a go. Hold on. Preparedness for manned missions, infrareds. Cutting edge metals. No, let's do the probe. Okay, launch it, baby. What do we got? An unexpected setback. Screw me with my pants on, why don't you? Oh, man. The poor huddled masses. The poor constitute a potential problem. With low income, they would not likely be able to sufficiently pay into the program to such a degree that they could live a comfortable life in retirement. Welfare payments for low income are exempt from pension taxation. They want to do riders to the bill. They want to pad pension checks for low-income pensioners. Welfare budgets, unemployment benefits, social assistance. The conservatives and business lobby are likely to howl bloody murder or at least Bucharinist mania. Okay. Let's all calm the freak down. At expanding welfare via rider, but like with the disability provisions, there is a chance we may be aided by NPP defectors and can still pass the bill. Can we risk it? Okay, yeah, this is where the South like it. If passed, this bill will help reduce the poverty rate. Our public support will increase. Yeah, we're going to do that. For the true Americans. Pension security bill time. 35 days away. What? Oh, yeah, let's campaign. New England. Okay. So, voting will commence on the bill. Many in our nation believe such a bill to be an insult towards the Treasury. We as Americans are promised to live with a nation that champions freedom, justice, prosperity, and progress. What's this? You really should have called me earlier, Mr. President, rather than trying to have that idiot Metz bomb go around and orchestrate a criminal conspiracy! Glenn shrunk at the term. Please, Jeb, I've called you now, haven't I? It's such short notice. I don't even have my boy around because of his exams. Do you expect me to haul myself around D.C. with manila envelopes? The president snorted, annoyed. Forget about Stone. You have no business dragging some college kid around this either. Yeah, so he would have been like in his 20s, but he worked for Nixon. He was very young, but I think he worked for Nixon. I'm not sure which Jeb this is, though. You have no business dragging some college kid around this either. We'll get you a go-between. Just make sure the envelopes get to the right reporters. If you say so, Mr. President. The Post or the Times. The Washington Post is read by our potential investigators. The New York Times is popular, yet far enough away. Uh-huh. What are we doing? Are we gonna frame McLucas? I think I've reached the point where I need to start thinking about how the American people are going to view what gets revealed. I think if I'm popular enough, the investigators will just back off. I don't know. Popular yet fun. Yeah, let's do the Times. Let's get this out of the city. I just don't like the idea of it being in Washington, D.C. Let's send this to the Times, whatever the heck we're doing. I don't even know what's going on. I'm trying to cover up a criminal conspiracy that I'm not even entirely sure. Well, actually, I'm sure what happened. So what happened was the secretary saw there was a discrepancy in the budget. This is how I'm understanding. He saw the discrepancy in the budget. He freaking told it to the White House. And then what I'm thinking happened is that Glenn then just said, okay, we're just going to say we didn't see that. Just like, oh, whoops. It's like a bank error in your favor. When you go to withdraw money from the bank and then they give you an extra bill or something, but then the receipt, you're still okay. You're like, okay, I guess I got an extra $20 bill now. So I'm thinking that's probably what happened with Glenn. I don't think Glenn was actively siphoning the money. I think there was truly a bureaucratic error and he just didn't report it. But now we're getting fucked. I just wanted to go to Mars, man. Now I'm struggling with all these damn missions. Got an election coming up. Uranus. One more, hopefully. Oh, there's going to be a Pluto, isn't there? Glenn sat in the chair of the White House residence, watching the last of the documents proving his involvement in the NASA funding scandal smolder in his fireplace. At least he learned that from Nixon. Don't put it in a frickin' safe with Hoover or whatever. After a brief moment of scanning the headlines once more, he threw the day's copy of the New York Times in there as well. The story would shortly be headline news across the country. He knew that the quote-unquote NASA papers proved the Undersecretary of the Air Force, John McLucas, who had been implementing the congressionally mandated military budget while Secretary of Air Siemens was off work sick, had accidentally made a calculation error, then later panicked and tried to hide his mistake. Some papers even hinted he may have bribed secretaries at the Pentagon to destroy papers. Needless to say, the political careers of both Siemens and McLucas were over. No, but McLucas was weak. He's going to fold. He's going to squeal, because doesn't he know? Isn't he closely connected? So now Siemens is going to get screwed, so he's going to go to jail, and then, something's going to happen. He's going to go on trial, and then he's going to say, no, it was the president, because he's weak. Damn it. Anyway, the political careers of both Siemens and McLucas were over, though the former would soon find himself back at MIT, avoiding the internal executive and soon to come congressional investigation into McLucas. Oh, okay. Glenn felt he should be relieved that everything had worked out, yet somewhere deep inside he felt really sad. He had just done what was right for humanity's future among the stars, yet here he was, forced to hide like a criminal. And poor McLucas. What an unjust and dreamless world we were forced to live in. Whatever will be, will be. Okay, but it's not over. Where's Neptune? Oh, no. I am fucking terrified. Everything's going up in smoke. Dreams of Neptune. Mr. President, what are you doing here? I came to apologize to you, John. John to John, as my wife might say. You? This was your doing? Well, why? Why would you do this? I had a dream, John. A dream? A dream? My career! I could go to prison! You won't go to prison. I've made the arrangements. Just keep denying it. Don't mention this meeting under any circumstance. And you will have a comfortable retirement or job offers from any government contractor you want. I am not a monster, even if I had to let this happen to you for the sake of the country. I don't know if I should bless you or curse you, Mr. President, with all due respect. With all due respect, neither do I. Not even stars burn together. So we're going to get a mistrusted government. Daily political power gain is going to go down. Recruitable population is going to go down. Stability is going to go down for a year. I cannot wait to read in the comments how I didn't do that right. But guess what? I was going in blind. I'm not min-maxing this shit. Excuse me. Polls are updated right after the people are mistrusting the government now too. How bad are things about to get? Okay, I'm still seeing mostly RD, but it looks like the Rockies. Actually, no. Ooh, I think the East Coast of New England, we're not going to get there. We didn't have a strong enough base in those areas. So this is probably, the mistrusting government means we're definitely not going to grab them. So it's entirely possible we might be in like a stagnant area. Trial of Strom Thurmond. Yes. This court finds you not guilty. Fuck me. Not guilty of charges of blackmail, though should I stress this is only due to lack of evidence. This court does, however, find you guilty of 1 count of perjury and 2 counts of bribery within a public office. Therefore, though I do not see fit to consign you to jail, I hereby order you to pay a fine of $200,000 in damages. You may not have been found guilty of the main charges brought against you today, but that does not mean that your conduct was at all befitting that of a man who held such prestigious office. Boo! I wanted him to go to prison. Thurmans are unhappy because he's escaped justice. Conversely, Thurman's collective cried foul. He was charged at all. He left relieved. Perhaps with a few more resources, the investigation could have made the blackmail charge stick. I gave them everything, didn't I? Didn't I go with the maximum amount of resource? I gave the investigation unit like $60 million and 60 political power. What the hell else was I supposed to do? Were there decisions for that? I didn't see them. Closure, at least. Republican Democrats look better in the north. Republican Democrats look worse in the south. This has been a rough episode, let me tell you. Yep, there it is. Public approval rating is at 0%. That will happen when the public finds out that almost $1 billion went to NASA that wasn't supposed to. Hard work means handsome reward. Eager Nature received this. One of the largest teams of scientists have developed several innovations for the nuclear payload, allowing the United States to bury stronger threat through nuclear force than ever before. New concepts, new designs. We hope for greater success in the future. Cyrus Vance, National Security Administrator. We're going to replace John Scales with Kirby Sickles. We're going to get more fuel per oil and more fuel capacity. Our nuclear stockpile societal development will begin to improve. As if I've ever had any fuel problems. MPP ran a good campaign. What a rough episode. Rough episode. Dreams of Neptune. We'll go listen to some space rock after this or something. What a day, what a day, what a day. Okay, what's this? Outdated equipment? Oh, transport helis. Let's do that. Mediocre RD campaign. We could do better next time. Okay, the vote's going to happen in 20 days, one way or the other, but in 3 days, it's going to actually happen. Get this pension security thing. This is just what the doctor ordered for our party. We did it despite the internal disagreements in the party. The bill has passed the House and is almost guaranteed to pass the Senate. Finally, we have taken some small steps toward a fairer and just America, one in which the old can live worthy lives. Bingo in Florida, anyone? Voters in North and Steelbelt will like this. South Rockies West will disapprove. We get trinket pensions replaced with low pensions. Stability goes up. Poverty rate, societal development will begin to improve. That's actually really good because the poverty rate is killing us right now. It's absolutely crippling us. It's some of the worst modifiers in the game. Yeah, but getting that construction speed up will be very nice. We'll have new expenses costing 1% of our current GDP. Okay, whatever. Let's end this right to work thing. Get the new bill going before the election starts. I think we'll just be able to squeak it in before the Senate races. The American worker, one of the cornerstoners cornerstoners. What? That's not right. Oh yeah, we need to get investing. So tell you what, we're already at 0, right? Everybody, okay, now we're at 9%. Let's raise that spending cap. Let's do it again, actually. Do it again. Do it again. Do the Minerva program here. And oh shoot, did I time that right? Yeah. So the AI V3 will be done before this is, so we're going to have a better base preparedness. And yeah, we're back down to 0% on the public approval. I'm sorry, wasn't our public support supposed to freaking go up? We're going to introduce a bill to empower the working class. We have 2 months to get it through the Senate. What is this? In unity, we prosper. This is a lot of stuff here. We're here for the American worker. We're hammering out all the details of this abolition of the right to work laws. We have some possibility to reach out even further. Mr. Metzelbaum could never quite get past the shock of every moment of Glenn's genuine empathy. Well, Mr. President, the large corporations have already expressed their opposition to such a support for the unions. What did you have in mind? The unions across America have stated their desire to enforce a 6-hour workday across the board. Shocked expression. Mr. President, I know that we must care for the American worker, but businesses will be at our party's throat if we reach that far. And the Department of Commerce has established possible economic difficulties if we reach too far out for the unions. The American workforce has been one of diligence, one of survival, but shouldn't such men and women enjoy the freedom of their lives along with their work life, or are they right, and we're all going to pay for it, or worse, the bill gets killed before it can change anything? So we could provision a 6-hour workday. We will face more severe backlash in case we fail to pass the bill. Well, we better pass it then. But this will help us with the NPPC. North and South will like this. South will not. North and Rockies. North and Steel Belt will like this. South and Rockies will not. Neither will the West. Yeah, we're going in. I've said it before. I'll say it again. We're in with the NPPC. Yeah, this is who we've chosen to ally ourselves with. 6-hour workday. Wow, that's kind of wild. Let's see here. We need to do some more campaigning. Nobody supports our bill. What? Hold the bill completed. Oh, is this just like a leftover? Is this not supposed to be here? You ain't supposed to be here. What's going on out here in Russia? Nothing. Whole lot of nothing. Okay, well, I think we're going to stop it there for today. Thank you very much for joining me. In the next episode, we're going to try to do this right to work thing. That was so freaking exhausting and stressful. So let's try to get this right to work thing going. We've got to also get these, let's see, increase the budget. The Minerva program in 15 days, we're going to try to shoot something else into space. This space adventure has not been going very well at all. In fact, I'm wondering if once I'm done with this right to work, I need to rush down here to the Ready for Everything, so our public support will go up, but also so I can get the daily political power gain. But it's also quite a ways down here. Like, this is going to take us 1, 2. Base preparedness will increase 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's going to take us most of a year to get ready for anything, excuse me. This is tough. I'm conquering history games. I'll see you next time.